Hello and welcome to the second Diablo 3 Hot Topics podcast. Today we will be covering comments by the Diablo 3 community manager, trade windows hackings, players beware, and lastly is Inferno dividing the community. In hardcore news we will be covering why is there no public games in Hell and Inferno difficulty? Is there any real reason to leave Act 1 Inferno? And are Enrage timers really fair to hardcore players? Topic number 1. Community Manager Lilira answered the following questions. You said you were inherently okay with players stacking certain stats over others. If that is the case, why did increased attack speed get nerfed? The short answer is increased attack speed actively limited build diversity, and at its upper limits it was introducing bugs to the system. The second question that followed was, is critical hit chance and critical hit damage going to get nerfed next? The short answer is no. There is no plans to change either of those affixes. Blizzard is, however, watching it very closely. The third question is, why are monster affixes combinations not restricted in some way? The short answer is they are grouped by category and restricted based on those categories in some degree. It is not as restrictive as some players are requesting, but Blizzard is monitoring this very closely. The last question is, can gems be stacked to 100? And Blizzard said they are looking into this, and I certainly hope they will implement this. Community Manager Bashiat commented on the following subject. 1. Legendary items are being worked on, and one of the things that they will be adding to legendary items is proc effects. He did not list any effects, but suggested that a preview of it is coming soon. 2. Bashiat reinforced that repair costs are where they want it to be, so don't expect any changes on that front. 3. And lastly, Bashiat commented on why players cannot hot swap skills without losing their Nephilim Valor buff. It is a system that was put in place to give their characters a small sense of permanence. Topic number 2. Trade windows hacking. Malicious players are using macros to cheat the system. An example of this is that a malicious player will put an item in the trade window. The other player will input in the agreed upon gold price. The malicious player will then use a macro to take the item out of the trade window and accept the trade. This effectively allows him to keep the gold and the item. This was done in the early part of Diablo 2, and I'm amazed on how it made it into Diablo 3. Furthermore, Blizzard has no plans on fixing this issue. From a player standpoint, it's outrageous that they are not fixing an obvious bug. From a Blizzard standpoint, it's a cold-hearted business move. They want you to use the auction house because they can make money off the auction house. Corporate America wins again. Topic number 3. Is Inferno dividing the community? Inferno is supposed to be insanely hard. Inferno is not for everyone. Only a small percentage of people will clear Inferno. Blizzard has told us this and we have accepted it, but now that the game's here, players that cannot clear Inferno are feeling left out. So the question is this good for the Diablo community? Let's face it, Diablo 3 shipped with a lot of flaws. To keep the community happy right now is pretty important. I for one expect Blizzard to add gear that will pretty much allow anyone to clear Inferno. The gear might already exist, but it's just too rare for the common Joe to pick up. As a hardcore player, I'm just wondering if Blizzard is going to take a stand on this subject and say they're not going to change how hard it is for people that cannot complete the game. I personally wouldn't put money on this. Example, World of Warcraft. What do you think? And now on to hardcore news. Topic number 1. Why is there no public games in Hell or Inferno? The sense that I currently get is that the bulk of the hardcore players are in Hell difficulty. Just by checking out character profiles, I noticed that a lot of people are losing characters in Hell. Hell difficulty games do pop up every once in a while, but they don't usually last very long. The sense that I get there is that people are going to buy and sell at the auction house to try to get past Hell difficulty. Another reason to consider is that people are not as trusting at higher levels. At this point, you have invested a lot of time and gold into your character. You don't want to lose it because someone accidentally pulls too large of a group for you to handle. Also, in 4-player games, it tends to be very difficult if one player spends too much time lagging behind or is constantly AFK. It would be nice if the leader could set the group size. Hopefully, when gear prices drop, people will be more willing to play public games. If that doesn't help, I hope Blizzard can step in and help the situation. Topic number 2. Is there a reason to leave Act 1 Inferno? I just recently got out of Act 1 Inferno. It's a big jump from Act 1 to Act 2. The question is the jump too large? Since eye level 63 items can drop from Act 1, Is the increased drop chance worth losing your character over? Some people feel that the reward is not worth the risk. I personally want to solo every boss in Inferno, but I can tell you right now that it won't be anytime soon. What are your thoughts on this? The last topic for today is enrage timers really fair in hardcore? DPS and stats needed to defeat a boss fight is constantly being debated in the forums. My personal answer to this is no, they really feel cheap to me. It was put in to prevent constant rezzing by softcore players that are undergeared for the fight, but now it's been added to hardcore and it's a big hurdle to overcome. We're not going to be able to get the same DPS number as softcore characters, but to be fair, those numbers are attainable at a risk. Blizzard has always said that they considered hardcore before implementing a change, but with the small community size of hardcore, you wonder if that is true. That is it for today's podcast. If there are any subjects that you would like me to cover, please put it in the comments below. Thank you for listening.